لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، خالق السماوات والأرض، إلها واحدا أحدا صمدا لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين، رحمة للعالمين، طه وياسين بالقاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين، ورحمة الله على محبيهم، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقاتليهم وغاصب حقوق حقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الحكيم وفرقانه المجيد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, my youngsters, my elders, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullah. शुरू करने से पहले आज़म अल्लाह वजूरना वजूरकुम बिवसाबिना बिअबू अब्दुल्लाह al-Husayn बिअबू अहल बैत an-नबुव्वह. On this occasion marking the shahadat ayyam Fatimiyya of Hazrat Zahra, we join in giving condolences to the Ahlul Bayt, to Rasulullah, to the family, and to Imam Sahibul Amri wal Akhir al-Zaman.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
सख्त मसाइल के वक्त अहल बैत के लिए ये अय्याम जो शुरू हुए थे कुछ हफ्ते पहले और इक़्तिदाम पे आ रहे, तो उन पर हम तसल्ली दे रहे अहल बैत को और हम मोमिनीन को और इमाम को. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come to Dar Batool for the first time. May Allah give you success in the dunya. May Allah Ta'ala keep our intentions for the sake of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And this is an opportunity that I am sharing with you for the first time, for which I am grateful, and I am your thankful servant. And I appreciate also that we allocated ke Angrezi Zaban mein bhi thoda sa bayan karenge aur Urdu mein bhi inshallah. And I have a habit of mixing together, so inshallah, I hope inshallah the message will reach out. One of the things that we find as we are giving condolences to the Ahlul Bayt is, what can we do? हम क्या कर सकते हैं? अगर हम अहले बैत को तसल्ली देना चाहते हैं, कंडोलेंसेस देना चाहते हैं, तो what is the best way to do it? What would they want? When you go to somebody's house who has lost a family member, you go to somebody's house in which somebody has passed away, you will not go there and start laughing and telling jokes. You will not go there and start making, funny remarks or acting silly. You will have a somber mood. You will have a climate of trying to understand what that family has gone through. और मौत ऐसी चीज है, वफात ऐसी चीज है, शहादत ऐसी चीज है कि हर एक ने कोई न कोई हालत में किसी न किसी हालत में एक्सपीरियंस कर चुके हैं, कर लिए हैं या कर रहे हैं. So we have lost somebody or another that we have loved, and this is usually even in the case of the children, the youngsters. You may have lost a grandparent, you may have lost an uncle or an aunt, you may have lost a friend in school. कुछ न कुछ हो सकता है, या accident में, या बीमारी में, cancer में, या old age में, whatever the case is. One of the things that is very interesting that you will note, if somebody is 80, 90, 100 years old, and they have passed away, if it was a father, if it was my mother, if it was my grandmother, if it was my grandparent, can you imagine for a moment, would you go there and say that, oh, they lived a full life, abhi to jaane ka to time hi tha na? You would never say that. Insulting ho jate hain. Zehn mein ye khayal aate hain. You might think it in your mind, but you never say it, because there's a certain adab that we have, a certain etiquette that we have to uphold. And so when we look at this etiquette in this dunyavi point of view, from the worldly point of view, then we see that, okay, what is our responsibility to each other becomes clear. But when we apply this to Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, the responsibility becomes much more serious. becomes much more. So we want to give something that the Ahlul Bayt would want us to give them. Because sometimes when we go to a house, किसी के घर पे हम जाते हैं और तसल्ली देने के लिए, so sometimes it is mustahab. If somebody immediate family member has passed away, there are certain mustahabat, certain recommendations. वाजिबात तो नहीं है. One of those recommendations is to bring them food. 3 दिन के लिए खाने के लिए ला दीजिए. अगर कोई किसी घर में किसी का इंतकाल हो गया, not if they away somewhere, but if they passed away in the house, the family does not have time or the mental capacity to cook. So it is recommended, okay, you take them food. It is also one of the things that very few people know, it is recommended not to eat with them. And then drop the food, recite Fatiha, and then go away, not to eat with them, unless the family asks you. Same thing, जो बीमारी में कोई शदीद बीमार हुए हैं, तो यहाँ पे भी बताया गया है मुस्तहबात में, अखलाक में, एटिकेट में, कि आदाब ये कहता है कि जाके खाना ड्रॉप कर लो और खाना साथ में ना खाओ. Unless the mariz tells you to sit with them. As little as possible. So we've got certain things that are etiquettes that we've got. Now that is to help the family cope in that difficulty. Now the question arises, what does the Ahlul Bayt expect of us? When we come to Majlis Azam, when we come to any Majlis Azam, आपको मालूम है रिवायत में बताया गया है, Ahlul Bayt themselves have said that doesn't matter how many people come to a Majlis, Ahlul Bayt alayhimussalam will be there. It doesn't matter whether anybody comes or not. Fatimiyya Majalis salamullahi alayha will always be there Majlis Azam. और इमाम ज़ैनुल आबिदीन भी शरीक होते हैं. So this is something we have been told. So now they are here. They are present in the majlis. What shall we give them? What can we give them? This is the household for whom it has been said, you just heard in Hadith Kisa, that the entire universe was created. وَالشَّمْسَ مُضِيًّا وَالْقَمَرَ مُنِيرًا وَلَا الشَّمْسَ مُضِيَّةً وَلَا فَلَكًا يَدُورُ وَلَا بَحْرًا يَجْرِي إِلَّا لِأَجْلِكُمْ وَمُحَبَّتِكُمْ. इन्हीं के मोहब्बत में पूरी कायनात बनी है. उनके लिए क्या दिया जा सकता है? What can we give them? अगर पूरी कायनात इनकी मोहब्बत में बनी है, पूरी कायनात इनके डिस्पोजल पर है, पूरी कायनात अपने कदमों पे है, तो अब हम जैसे फकीर गरीब मिस्कीन क्या दे सकते हैं? But the Ahlul Bayt still want something from us. They want something from us. Ya Mawla, Ya Mawlati, what can we give you that you need? Na'udhu billah, not that they need, but when you go to give somebody something who has passed away, that doesn't mean that they need the food that you are giving them. कहीं न कहीं से रिज़्क़ तो आ जाते हैं, अगर कोई ना भी लाए तो मैं खुद पका लूंगा, वो लोग खुद पका लेंगे. तो यहाँ पे खाना लेकर दलील हो जाती है. This becomes a source of your akhlaq, not that their necessity is there. So the same way, जब हम पेश करते हैं अहले बैत को एक हदिया, whether it is the namaz hadiya, ziyarat after you recite the ziyarat, whether it is coming to the Majlis Azam, it is not that Ahlul Bayt alayhi wasallam need something from us. It shows our akhlaq to give something to Ahlul Bayt. हमारे akhlaq की दलील बन जाती है. What would the Ahlul Bayt want from us? Very simple formula. When you come to the Majlis, then you give them something that they want from us. And what do the Ahlul Bayt want? They want to see our Shia to be the best they can be. Shi'atuna, kunu lana zayna, wa la takunu alayna shayna. Oh, our Shia, be a source of greatness for us. Be a source of zina for us. Wa la takunu alayna shayna. Because people will see your akhlaq and they will understand us. They will see how you deal and they will understand us. That is why, एक hadith Imam Jafar ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq Imam ki hadith hai. If you want to know if somebody is religious or not, don't look at how much namaz or roza or zikr they do. If you want to see how religious somebody is, look at how they interact with each other. See how they deal with each other. That is how you tell whether somebody is religious. अगर मैं इतनी नमाज़ें पढ़ूंगा तो आप लोग क्या समझेंगे? Oh, ये तो बहुत शफीक साहब बहुत religious है. Imam says that is not a definition of religion. मैं रोजा रखता हूँ, that is not a source of religiousness. मैं इतनी तस्बीह निकालता हूँ, हाथ में तस्बीह होती है, मैं कुरान मजीद होता है. ठीक है, अच्छी इबादत है, इसमें कोई इनकार नहीं कर रहा है, लेकिन that is not the definition of what is religious. This is not what the Ahlul Bayt expect of us. They want to see how you are dealing with each other, how you are dealing with the world, what your akhlaq is like, what your etiquette is like, and how honesty and integrity you have.
Subhanallah.
Then we can say we've given true condolences to Ahlul Bayt. वरना हम अपने आप की तसल्ली, अपने आप को खुश कर रहे हैं. अगर ये सब काम करते हैं, फिर sometimes what happens with religious people sometimes when and we may have gone through this phase. Okay, I remember when I was young, जब मैं teenager था और मैं change आ रही थी लाइफ में और थोड़ा सा मैं रिलीज बनना चाहता था, तो एक वो क्या कहते हैं कि certain feeling comes about. एक feeling तस्वर आ जाता है कि अभी मैं कुछ हूँ, मैं बेहतर हूँ, and then we become condescending, we look down upon others. किसी और को जब देखते हैं तो गिरी हुई नजर से देखते हैं कि अच्छा मैं इतना मजहबी हूँ, तुम क्यों ऐसे नहीं है, तुम्हारी नमाज क्यों नहीं जल्दी होती है, तुम 2 मिनट तस्बीह में नहीं निकाल सकते हो. And so we become judgmental. And this is where shaitan, you see, shaitan has a different policy for everybody. He has, in English they say custom tailored policy, custom made. आपका घर चाहिए तो घर custom made होता है. आपका कंप्यूटर जब होता है तो वो लोग क्या कहेंगे, आपको custom made कंप्यूटर देंगे, आपके लिए custom tailor करेंगे. Insurance policies, cars, गाड़ी खरीदने के जाते हैं, will make the car custom made for what you like. And I'll give you the proof of that. Some of the cars that they have, even the basic cars, they have got आपकी गाड़ी की जो चाबी है, किलीद है, किलीद पे आप जब प्रेस करोगे तो if this is your key, the seat will go to the way you have set it, the mirrors will go to the set. If your wife is going to be sitting in the car and she opens it with her key, उनका number 2 key है, या उनका usually उनका number 1 होता है ना, हमारा number 2 होता है, हम तो आखिर में होते हैं ना, बोलो. So they will open it and it'll be custom tailored to how they want it. So Janabe Mr. Iblis is like that as well. He knows that the same policy doesn't work for everybody. The same hadiyah, the same weapons don't work for everybody. So he looks at what I need to do for so and so, and what I need to do. This is how shaitan looks. He says कि उनके लिए कुछ और दवा होगी, इनके लिए कुछ और हथियार होंगे, उनके लिए कुछ और, for that person needs हथियार. So if somebody is trying to be religious, what shaitan does is he tries to apply the policy of superiority to him. If somebody is not religious, then his job becomes a little easier that way. And I'll tell you one thing. Please don't take this the wrong way, but there is a lesson we need to learn from shaitan. Na'udhu Astaghfirullah. क्या करके दिया? अय्याम फातिमा आपने कहा कि शैतान को शैतान की पैरवी कर दिया, इसको बुलाना ही नहीं है. Why? You see, shaitan is very patient. Very patient. He is not in a hurry to misguide anybody. आहिस्ते आहिस्ते वो बहकाता है, आहिस्ते आहिस्ते बहकाता है, कोई जल्दी नहीं है इसको. People ask, जब हजरत नूह के जमाने में तूफान हुआ था, the whole world was cleansed, the whole world at that time was destroyed, जो भी थे डूब गए थे, सिर्फ मोमिनीन बचे थे. हजरत नूह के जमाने से लेकर हजरत इब्राहिम के जमाने में कितने साल थे, कितने सदियां गुजरे थे? 1000 years maximum. How did the people of Hazrat Ibrahim's time become sun worshippers, moon worshippers, star worshippers, sun worshippers? How did they become idol worshippers? How come in 1000 years, कुछ 2-3 साल के अंदर भी नहीं? What happened? Hazrat Nuh, after that time, everybody was mu'min, right? 72 लोग तो आ गए थे और बच गए थे. 72 तो थे ना बचने वाले. And after that, they told their children. You see, shaitan has this policy, and he's very patient. And this is something that we have to be careful. When you're playing a game, tennis game, basketball game, you all play sports, right? आप मुझे से बूढ़े नहीं हो गए, आप तो माशाल्लाह सब जवान हो, I'm sure you're playing something or another, you're something activity, walking भी करते हो. यहाँ पे सब कुछ टूटा फूटा है, need replacement of this, replacement of that, and by the time the whole body needs to be replaced. But you guys are all young, माशाल्लाह. आप जब टेनिस खेलते हो, जब बास्केटबॉल खेलते हो, बैडमिंटन खेलते हो, you want to know who you're playing against, और 1-2 गेम के अंदर, 1-2 वॉली के अंदर आपको पता चल जाएगा कि आपका अपोनेंट का स्ट्रेंथ क्या है और आपका opponent का weakness क्या है. When he has a weakness, then if his backhand is weak, you give it to him in the backhand. You lobby all the lobs to the backhand. If you know his forehand is weak, you give it to him in the forehand. And he'll be also doing the same with you. So Shaitan does this as well. After the time of Hazrat Nuh, when Hazrat Nuh, he did his tabligh, everybody was mu'min, everybody was clean, the world was pure. After that, the first generation was alhamdulillah fine, second generation was okay. The third, fourth generation, what Shaitan told the people, tumko yaad hai hamara dada Hazrat Nuh the? You remember our grandfather Hazrat Nuh? We will forget him. So let's keep a little photo of him. Let's keep a little photo. So the people said, yes, that's a good idea, because Shaitan doesn't come to us in an evil form. मैं कभी Catholic school में जाता हूँ मैं, so I remind them, I said that, when you are talking about the devil from the biblical point of view, you will show a picture of the devil, how horns and ugly and teeth coming out and blood gushing out and holds one of those staffs, evil, deadly, completely unattractive. Shaitan, the concept of Shaitan from the Muslim perspective is completely different. This is what? I said, Shaitan will come to us in a very beautiful form. He'll come to us in the form of a na-mahram, who's very beautiful, who's attractive. He'll come to us in the form of good food that is haram, beautiful. He'll come to us and bring us these kinds of gifts. He won't come to us with the fire and all that. I said, if you see that, then you'll run away anyways. Waise hi bhag jayenge. Shaitan wants to entice us and seduce us, not to get us away. Right? So I said, he was telling them, Hazrat Nuh was such a great man, he was your grandfather, we should keep a picture. Photo में से जिस तरह वो carve कर रहे थे, photo में से वो idol बन गए थे कि एक statue तो हम रखना चाहिए. And then by the time 4th, 5th generation comes, they would see the statue. By that time some of them would remember Hazrat Nuh, some of them would say he was Hazrat Nuh, but he was God. See? So slowly, not in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, no, 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, 200 years. वो इंतजार करता रहता है. He was very patient. And then when the time comes, the community has gone into the state that Hazrat Ibrahim had to deal with. And so that's what happens. That's what we are needing to be careful of. So what happened is that we then go to find or looking for other things. We're looking for solutions, but we are looking here and there and everywhere else, except what Allah Ta'ala has given us, except what Al-Bayt has given us. One thing, Shaheed Mutahari in his writings mentions a very beautiful story. And I'm sure my youngsters will benefit from this. He said there was a poor man, a very poor man, a gharib tha, and he was just, very barely even making hand to mouth. So one day he sees a dream. In the dream, an angel is coming to him, and the angel is saying to him, go and take your bow and arrow, go outside of the city, and wherever the arrow falls, dig there, aapka khazana ko mil jayega, you will get a treasure there. So he goes out the next day into where he saw the small hill there, he takes his bow and arrow, he fires it, where the arrow has fallen, he goes there and he digs, he doesn't find anything. The next day he goes, fires the arrow on that side, he starts digging, kuch bhi nahi mil raha hai. The third day he goes fires the arrow on the other side, digs over there, he's got nothing. By this time he's getting frustrated as well, right? Insan to insan hai na. The fourth time he fires it in the opposite direction. He fires it in the opposite direction, again he digs there, nothing is there. So he's very upset, very frustrated. That night, he sees the angel again. Before the angel says anything else, he starts complaining. What have you done? You didn't tell me, you told me to do this, I did this, I didn't find any khazana, I wasted my whole 4 days and time and this, and everything. The angel says, I told you to take your bow and arrow. Where the arrow falls, I told you to dig. When did I tell you to fire the arrow? When did I tell you to fire the arrow? So on the 5th day, he lets the arrow drop right by his foot. He digs there and he finds his treasure right there by his feet. He was looking there. And this is what happens to the mu'mineen. We are looking for solutions to life's problems here and there and everywhere. But Ahlul Bayt have told us that the problem solutions are right at your footstep. Look at Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, look at the Quran Majid, the solutions are there. وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةً لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. This Quran that we have set down, ये Quran जो हमने नाज़िल किया है, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةً. In this Quran there is nothing but shifa and rahmah. There's a cure and there is rahmah. Cure, Ya Allah, how can there be a cure in the Quran? What is it? I don't understand. What happens is there are certain illnesses that are interesting illnesses. And the Western world is starting to recognize some of these as illnesses. What do I mean? If you look at some of the newspapers in Toronto, jo Saturday ka newspaper hota hai, how heavy is that? You need two people to lift that newspaper, hai na? दो लोगों की जरूरत पड़ती है वो सैटरडे पेपर. अभी तो बेचारे न्यूज़पेपर्स भी ऐसे ऐसे मफहूम होते जा रहे हैं क्योंकि इंटरनेट में सब कुछ मिल जाता है. लेकिन जो आपको याद है जो सैटरडे न्यूज़पेपर काफी होता है, इसमें से एक बड़ा सेक्शन होता है इसको ट्रैवल सेक्शन कहते हैं. And in that travel section, as you are flipping the pages, you will see, okay, you need R&R, go for a cruise. You need R&R, go for a flight. You need R&R, go for this and that. R&R hai kya? Mujhe samajh mein nahi aata hai. Then I had to ask some expert, what is this R&R? He says rest and relaxation. So everybody needs rest and relaxation. Why do they need it? Because they've realized that between 40 to 45% of North Americans, are suffering something called anxiety that borders on to depression. Anxiety borders on to depression. So what happens is, people need R&R, rest and relaxation. And so what they say is कि ये $5,000 हमको दो, हम आपको क्रूज में ले जाएंगे 3 हफ्ते के लिए, यहाँ जाएंगे वहाँ जाएंगे बहामास में जाएंगे, आपको ये बीच में ले जाएंगे, ये रिलैक्सेशन रेस्ट एंड रिलैक्स, आपको पूरी ये बोट पूरा शहर बन जाते हैं and you will get lots of R&R. And alhamdulillah $5,000 में दे दिया, 3 हफ्ते के लिए मैं गया, पूरा दुनिया की सब फिक्रे भूल गया मैं, no tensions, no worries. Inshallah now even cell phones hopefully don't work on that, but they have this. Anyway, they go there, and then what happens after 2, 3, 4 weeks, I come back to Kitchener, and I'm still depressed. And minus $5,000. Minus 5,000, I'm still depressed. So what happened? I lost out and they benefited. They benefited on my depression. They benefited on my anxiety and my situation. So now the Quran is saying, we have given you a cure. What cure is there? Because the Quran is saying there is a shifa in the Quran. The Quran is saying that with the remembrance of Allah, وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Remember Allah much, you will succeed. In Surah Ra'd, there is an ayat that says, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. This depression and upsetness you're facing, if you recite, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ 100 times whenever you feel down, then you will, I guarantee you, inshallah, you will feel better, inshallah, and your $5,000 is still in your pocket.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Of course, I'm not saying don't get medical help, don't get medical treatment. This is a different situation altogether. But the Quran is reminding us that there is a shifa, there is a cure in there. Whenever somebody has a painful moment, can we not remember the Ahlul Bayt and say, whatever my mushkilat is, whatever my difficulty is, जो भी मुझ पर गुजर रही है, उनसे ज़्यादा तो किसी और पे भी गुजरा था ना. मुझ पर जो भी हो रहा है, किसी की वफात हो गई है, किसी का एक्सीडेंट में किसी का हो गया, किसी का कत्ल हो गया है. लेकिन when I turn the pages to the lives of Ahlul Bayt, I see that they have had it much worse. So in a way, we get a consolation. We are getting this shifa, and the only condition Allah Ta'ala is making here, لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, that you must be a mu'min. मोमिन बनना आपका काम है, शिफा रहमत देना हमारा काम है. मोमिन बनना तुम्हारा काम है, शिफा रहमत देना हमारा काम है. एक सलात पढ़ो. This ayat has a very interesting turn. وَلِلظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. For the disbelievers, there is nothing but loss. This Quran, यही Quran जो हमने नाज़िल किया है, لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, believers के लिए, मुमिन के लिए, there is a cure and a rahmah. There's a mercy, beautiful mercy there for the believers. But the same Quran and Majid, for the disbelievers, is khasara. It is a loss. Khasara hai. I didn't understand this. Until I became diabetic, I could not understand certain things. When you have, मैं आपको force नहीं कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन मजलिस के बाद चाय शायद हो, है ना? इंशाल्लाह। कोई उम्मीद ना देना, लेकिन अगर होगी इंशाल्लाह। तो आप लोग माशाल्लाह चाय के साथ चीनी भी लेते हो। बगैर चीनी के चाय का मजा ही कुछ और है, मजा ही नहीं। ओके, कुछ लोग हमारे वहां किचन में भी होता है, कुछ लोग चीनी में चाय डालते हैं, कुछ लोग चाय में चीनी डालते हैं, because they need this to give themselves the energy. And we've got some communities they put so much sugar कि we wonder if this is शरबत और चाय है। लेकिन जब कोई डायबिटिक हो जाते हैं और डायबिटीज अगर हाई हो जाती है तो यही चीनी उनके लिए जहर बन जाती है। आम लोगों के लिए चीनी की जरूरियात में हो जाते हैं, और कुछ के लिए लोग के लिए यही चीनी जहर बन सकती है, मुश्किल से खतरा। So the Quran Majid is reminding us that it is the same Quran Majid, it is the same book, but it is different levels. जिसके level, जिसकी capacity होती है, उनके लिए कुछ होता है। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
So the Quran Majid is reminding us, and the message of Ahlul Bayt is that we have got the solutions for you here. Your job is to be a mu'min, your job is to come forward and take it from us. And so when we look at the lives of the Ahlul Bayt, we find that shifa, we find the rahmah, we find that consolation for us. Like I said, we're not saying that this is a replacement for medical treatment. कुछ लोगों के लिए जरूरी है। किसी को कैंसर है तो हम नहीं कहेंगे बस दुआएं पढ़ के, नहीं, ठीक है, दुआ में असरात है, दुआ में ताकत है, दुआ में मुजज़ात है, इसमें कोई इनकार नहीं है। But at the same time, we also need to दवा and दवा दोनों साथ में चलते हैं। And then we look at the life of Hazrat Fatimiyya Zahra As we go forward, I just wanted to mention, please forgive my, it's just a little infection I have, which I'm trying to work on, inshallah. The other thing I wanted to tell my youngsters especially, and this is one of the first times I've sat on a chair instead of sitting down. It's only because I had an accident this morning. So please forgive me and bear with me. I usually never sit on a chair. मेरे वालिद के हमको सईद के डांटते थे अगर हम बीच में ना बैठे, or even if we sit against the walls, I used to be punished for that when I was your age. So actually even when I was older, I was still punished for that. So I just wanted to tell you that this was only because of majburi, not because of choice that I was sitting on the chair. Khair, Hazrat Zahra's life, a lady who was so illuminated. Her name was Zahra, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which means the illuminated one. And it was narrated that in Hadith ke saath, I keep coming back to Hadith because aaj hamara ye introduction hai. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking a little bit about the lessons we take from Hadith ke saath, what Hadith ke saath teaches us. And inshallah, and on the last night, we will talk about our responsibilities to Imam Sahib al-Amr in light of Bibi Fatima's because I mentioned that what does the Ahlul Bayt expect of us? They want us to be better. They want us to take a gift from the Majlis Azhar. What gift? The gift of ilm. The gift of knowledge and taqwa. This is how we are giving a gift to the Ahlul Bayt, by being shareek in the Majlis Azhar, learning and inshallah taking something that will help our akhirat, help us get closer to Ahlul Bayt. This is a gift we are giving the Ahlul Bayt. So this is the hadith that I was talking about before. So you look at what in Hadith Qisar, it was mentioned, the whole universe was created for the love of Ahlul Bayt. Imam Muhammad ibn Ali al-Baqir alayhi salatu has been quoted as saying that this whole universe was created for the love of Ahlul Bayt. The Ahlul Bayt were created for the sake of Fatimiyya Zahra.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah.
Because of Fatimiyya Zahra, salamullahi alayha, that is why whatever she has given us has been a phenomenal, has been a unique gift. If you look at something as simple as the tasbih of Fatimiyya Zahra, mashallah, you recite it right after the majlis, after the Adha namaz, may Allah bless you all, inshallah. May Allah give you barakah. Because it is narrated that anybody who, there are two things. One is astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-qayyum dhul jalali wal ikram without moving, and the tasbih of Fatimiyya Zahra. The thawab of that, according to the sixth Imam, is greater than 1,000 rakats of Muslim. You recite the tasbih of Fatimiyya Zahra before you move, as soon as you have finished namaz. Because this was a gift that was given by Rasulullah to Hazrat Fatima gave it to us as a gift.
Subhanallah.
And when Hazrat Zahra gives us a gift, you can imagine how great that gift is. Because it has not only come from Rasulullah, it has come from Arsh-e Azam. It has come from Arsh Azam to Rasulullah to Fatimiyya Zahra, and then Zahra alayhi salam gave it to us. So you can imagine 34 times reciting Allahu Akbar, because it's teaching us something. 33 times Alhamdulillah, 33 times Subhanallah. Sometimes people like to recite it as if they have a train to catch. Please. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah. Take a moment to say Allahu Akbar. As if Hazrat Fatimiyya Zahra, not as if she is watching us, as if she's watching us right there, reciting Allahu Akbar. Do we really mean Allah Akbar hai? Are we really saying Allah is greatest, or do I think I am greatest? This is where the tasbih helps us to get closer to Allah. Alhamdulillah. When we are reciting Alhamdulillah, are we thinking in our minds, what are we thanking Allah for? Ya Allah, I have my body. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, I have rizq. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, I have eyes, I can see. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, I have ears, I can hear. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, I have a zabar, I have a tongue, I can speak. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, I can walk, I'm not in a wheelchair. Alhamdulillah. We are not thinking these things. We're just reciting it because we want to recite them. If you want the maximum benefit, the maximum power of the tasbih of Fatimiyya Zahra, think you're reciting and say Alhamdulillah. Think of the ni'mat that Allah Ta'ala has given us.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Think of the ni'mat. It was unbelievable. 33 to bahut kam hai. 33 ni'mats, when you're remembering it is nothing. We have got just 33, you can immediately think even at the front of our mind. Then we say Subhanallah, glory be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at what He has created. Allahu Akbar. When you look at the stars, and you look at the mountains, and you look at the heights, and then you look at the oceans, and then you see what is there. I was in one of my transits just last week. I was in one of the lounges, and they were showing a show on National Geographic or something on that. And they were showing in the depths of the oceans how many kilometers down there are fish and sharks who are so large, bigger than a school bus. Okay? And some of these animals, one of these sharks that they were talking about, it eats only once a year. It doesn't get food more than once a year. And I was thinking, Allahu Akbar, if I don't get food for a few hours, मेरी क्या हालत हो जाती है? कुछ घंटे मुझे खाना नहीं मिले तो मेरी क्या हालत हो जाती है? एक साल तक ये जिंदा रहता है. And this is the depths of the oceans. Somebody has to go all the way down to study. And then you go to the stars in the heavens and you see what is in there, what is in the heavens. Allahu Akbar. Nobody can even comprehend that. And some interesting stories are told about various scholars, fictitious or real. 3 wise men come to Baghdad and they say, we want to meet the smartest person. Smartest person. They say, go to Mullah Nasruddin. He is the smartest person. They go to him, they say, we understand that you're the most intelligent person here. He doesn't answer them, he just says, what is your question? He says, where is the center of the universe? So Mullah replies, right here by my feet. He says, how do you know? He says, measure it. Measure it. So they were starting to get a bit upset now. The second one asked, there are 3 wise men who come here. The second wise man, he asks him, he says, how many stars are in the sky? He says, the same as the hairs on my donkey. How do you know that? Count. By this time they're very angry. They realize what is happening. They realize that their questions don't make sense. So the third one now, Tisra Baki hai na? He says, oh yeah, how many hairs are there on my beard? So immediately Mullah replies, the same as the hairs on the tail of my donkey. He says, how do you know? He says, start plucking your hairs out from your beard and I'll start plucking the hairs out from your donkey and then we'll see how many. We like to think we are intelligent, we like to think our answers are intelligent, questions are intelligent, and these 3 wise men realize that there was no purpose to that. But when it comes to the actual universe, when it comes to the actual stars, there's no need to know how many there are. There's no need to count how many there are. All we know is that there's a lot of them. And each of those stars, some are larger than the sun, some are smaller than the sun. The universe is incomprehensible. And then what does my Mawla say? In Nahjul Balagha, Mawla says, Allah Ta'ala created a whole universe inside the insan.
Subhanallah.
You have a whole universe inside you. Jab koi mutakabbir ho jate hai, when he becomes proud and arrogant, then you realize that if you're looking from space down, nobody can even see you, you're not even a grain of sand. But when you realize your worth and your relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you become an entire universe.
Subhanallah.
That's where the greatness is. And so you can see that Ahlul Bayt's message has been a very encompassing message. You know, when Rasulullah was telling Hazrat Zahra, Anti Biha, you are the mother of your father. Allahu Akbar. There's so many titles of Hazrat Zahra, so many. Mubarakah, Muhadditha, there's Zahra, there's Fatima, and there's, I mean, if I was to start on just each of them, we would be here to Salatul Fajr. But Biha, the reason why I wanted to select that was if you look at the word mother of her father, Abiha, you see that the word also is from the same derivative in the Arabic language as Imam. Imam and come from the same root in the Arabic language. There's a very detailed meaning for this. When you look at a mother is what? She is your sarparast. She is your caretaker. She is your looking after. She is your Imam. You see? So And so, and in fact, in the Arabic context, you know the skull that we have, it's referred to as Ras. Ras. The head, the mother of the head. That's what the skull is referred to in Arabic. So all of this means that the word mother has a very significant meaning. It symbolizes leadership. It symbolizes direction. It symbolizes sacrifice. What does a mother do? Just the other day before yesterday, I was teaching a class at university and they wanted to know about women in the Quran. And I was saying how important the mother is, that a man comes to Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam and says, Yabna Rasulullah, I took my mother for Hajj. Now this is not Hajj of 2018 or 2019. This is Hajj of the time of Mawla, when the zameen jalti hui zameen hoti. It is a burning sand that you are doing tawaf. You are going from Safa and Marwa, not in an air-conditioned, built-in ark. It was out in the sun. You're going from Safa to Marwa, 7 times, back in one way, each way. And then you have to go to Mina, Muzdalifah. You go to Jabal al-Rahmah in the burning, scorching heat. No buses, no trains, no metro express. No. On foot. My mother was on my shoulders. Yabna Rasulullah, have I fulfilled the haqq of my mother? Mawla replies, you have not even fulfilled one day that you were in her womb. Not even one, ek din ka liye pura hajj tumne kiya, ek din ka bhi badla nahi hua. Mother. Allahu Akbar. Because she gives everything. Your mother, my mother has given everything for our convenience. We are today where we are because of our mothers. Who taught us? Who gave us the majlis al-azan? Who, I remember when we came to Canada in the 70s, and we didn't understand the language, there was nothing else, just one majlis in Muharram, maybe in my Ramadan, sometimes the Zakir would come, we'd have videotapes or audio tapes playing, nobody could see, and our mothers would sit down with us and tell us what the most message of Imam Hussain of Abdullah is. And I'm sure we will all remember these moments. So the Prophet is telling his daughter, Abiha. That means two things. One of two things. या तो रसूलुल्लाह इमोशनल थे और इमोशन के तौर पे इन्होंने हज़रत ज़हरा को इतना लक़ब दे दिया, या तो कुरान मजीद की जो आयत मुबारका है मा यंतिकु अनिल हवा इन हुवा इल्ला वह्यु युहा पर अमल होना चाहिए. That means that he was not emotional because Rasulullah does not do anything. वमा यंतिकु अनिल हवा, यानी कोई हवा तक नहीं आती जब तक कोई वही ना आ जाए रसूलुल्लाह. That means that when he said anti biha, when he called her his mother, it was not an emotional father giving an emotional daughter. It was Risalat standing up for Sayyidat Nisa'il Alamin. Risalat al-Nabuwwat was standing up for Aimma. It was not Muhammad standing up for Fatima. It was the Nabuwwat of not just one Nabi. 1,24,000 Anbiya khare ho rahe hain Fatima Zahra ke liye. दलील में बगैर दलील में मिंबर से उतर नहीं सकता। दलील में 2 मिनट लगेंगे, लेकिन दलील देना भी जरूरी है। उसकी दलील में जो अपनी किताबों से नहीं, अपने किताबों से नहीं, अपनी किताबों में तो मालूम है सब कुछ, लेकिन what is, if you look at the books of sunnah, if you look at the books of sunnah, पैजामा इस तरह पहनना चाहिए, इस तरह लिबास होना चाहिए, ये रंग सही है, वो रंग गलत है, इस तरह होना चाहिए, दाढ़ी का ये लेंथ होना चाहिए, मुझ का ये होना चाहिए, किताबों के सुन्नों में नाखून काटना है तो इस तरह करना चाहिए, इस दिन को करना चाहिए, बियर्ड मस्टैच का भी ये होना चाहिए, सब कुछ सुन्नह की किताबों में है। मुझे एक सुन्नह की किताब में बताओ, मैं चैलेंज देकर कह सकता हूँ, एक सुन्नह की किताब में बताओ कि जब बेटी दाखिल हो जाए तो बाप को खिलाना चाहिए। आपको कहीं नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि सुन्नह में है ही नहीं, क्योंकि सुन्नह नहीं है, सुन्नत रसूल है, सुन्नत रसूल नहीं है, ताज़ीम पैगंबर इस्लाम है, सुन्नह की किताबों में आपको नहीं मिलेगी।
सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह।
बाबा ने बुलंद नारे सलवात, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
Uswat al-Hasana, for you the Prophet is an example. That means the same way that you follow the example, we are trying to symbolize metaphorically, हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि जिस तरह पैगंबर इस्लाम ताज़ीम हज़रत ज़हरा कर रहे थे, अय्युहल मुस्लिमून, तुम्हारा भी वाजिबात है ताज़ीम सैयदा करना, ताज़ीम सिद्दीक़ा ताहिरा की ताज़ीम करना आप पर वाजिब है। सुनना नहीं कि बेटी के लिए खड़े हो जाओ, सैयदतुन निसाइल आलमीन के लिए। It is for the lady of light. That means that never in the life of the Prophet did he ever disrespect her. The Ummah also has to respect her. Never did Allah, the Prophet of Allah, hurt Fatima Zahra. Oh Ummah, can you also claim that you did not hurt Fatima Zahra? Never once did Hazrat Rasul give a gift that was not a useful gift to Hazrat Zahra. Even in those difficult moments, Rasulullah said, Fatima, I will give you a gift that is from the heavens. Every time the Prophet would go, he would take a gift for Fatima Zahra, but it was not a makeup set or not a new dress or not a new bangle or not a new necklace, but it was a new dua, a new hadith, a new zikr. And that was what we have got, the legacy of Fatima Zahra. So the respect that the Prophet gave was for that of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. She was Abiha, the father of her, the mother of her father, because the message of Rasulullah was now resting on Fatima Zahra. And if you listen to her khutbah, one great marja taqeed, Hazrat Marhum Ayatollah Azmar Sayyid Shahabuddin Marashi Najafi. Ayatollah Marhum Marashi Najafi, in his wasiyat nama, this was the one marja, and my time has run out, otherwise I would have told you. He was the one marja who was not al-hajj. He did not, even though he had homes at his disposal, he never used that money for himself. And in his wasiyatnama he wrote to his son, कि तुम्हारा ज़ाती पैसे से, अपने पैसे से, खुम से नहीं, सहम इमाम साहब सादात से नहीं, from your personal money, if you can afford it, go do hajj on my niyabat.
Subhanallah.
La ilaha illallah. He says, I never got a chance to say salam to my grandfather Rasulullah. I never could say salam to my grandmother Fatima Zahra. But with your own money, in his wasiyat nama, Allahu Akbar, he was such an alim. We used to do namaz Maghrib and Isha behind him in the Sahar namaz the Masuma. And this was, he was an expert on genealogy. In genealogy, he was a great expert. Any Sayyid, sometimes people with black amamas would go to him, talk to him, and he would say, take off this black amama, you have to wear a white amama, you're not Sayyid. Sometimes people would go with white amama, they would talk about who their nasab and who their parents and grandparents were. He would say, Shuma Sayyid Asli, what are you doing with a white amama? You put on black. So this was Ayatollah Marashi Najafi. One of the greatest Maraja. In his wasiyat nama, amongst other things he wrote, he says that the rumal, the handkerchief with which I did the azadari of Abdullah, bury that with me, because the tears that come out from Abdullah are very great. And he was also the one who said that read the khutbah of Fatima Zahra salamu alayha. He says, even the ulama have not understood the khutbah of Fatima Zahra. Even the ulama have not understood the greatness of Fatima Zahra and that khutbah that she had given in front of Khalifa Awwal. In that you see her aqidah, you see her tawheed, you see her love of nabuwwat and risalat, you see her attachment to the Prophet of Islam, not just as a father to a daughter to a father, but how Sayyida Siddiqa was respecting risalat and nabuwwat. It was the risalat and nabuwwat. And if you look at the sad irony of the time, that even after her shahada, even after they martyred her, even their Jannatul Baqi was not left without damaging it. 1926 में आले सऊद मलऊन ने क्या किया था, जो आराम गाह थे, जिस जगह पे राहत होना चाहिए, कब्र में तो एटलीस्ट सुकून होना चाहिए, कब्र में तो एटलीस्ट सुकून होना चाहिए, वो भी नहीं दिया गया था हजरत ज़हरा को, इम्मा को, अज़ादारा इमाम. जब हजरत रसूल की शहादत हो गई, हजरत रसूल की वफात हो गई, after the Prophet was killed, Hazrat Zahra was so distraught that she would be in mourning in Azadari. She would be remembering her father so much. And the people started complaining to Amir al-Mu'mineen that Fatima Zahra is crying so much that we are not able to go on with our day-to-day lives. Mere Mawla ne kya kiya? Siddiqa Tahira Hazrat Fatima Zahra ke saath jaakar Jannatul Baqi mein kone mein Baitul Huzn kar diya. Gham ka ghar bana diya. Mawla ne kaha सिद्दीका, ए फातिमा ज़हरा, मज़ादारी मनाओ तो यहाँ पे मनाओ, लोग पढ़ता. अज़ादारा इमाम रसूलुल्लाह कह चुके थे हज़रत ज़हरा को कि तुम पर ऐसी मुसीबत आएगी जो बर्दाश्त से बाहर होंगे. लेकिन सैयदा ए सिद्दीका, अहले बैत में से पहली मुलाकात तुम्हारी. अज़ादारा इमाम रसूलुल्लाह के बाद हज़रत ज़हरा कैसे इस मसाले गुजरे, आना जाने कि जब दरवाजा गिराया गया, हड्डियां तोड़े गए और हज़रत मोहसिन की शहादत भी हो गई, लेकिन फिर भी सब्र साबिरा रही. अज़ादारा इमाम, किसी ने इमाम मोहम्मद बाक़िर से सवाल किया, मौला आपने बताए कि रोज़े क़यामत जनाबे खदीजा ताहिरा अदालत का इलाही में आएंगी, हजरत मोहसिन को सामने पेश करेंगी और हजरत मोहसिन की शहादत की अदालत का सवाल करेंगी. अज़ादारा इमाम, सुनोगे जुमला? मौला बाक़िर से पूछा गया, या रसूलुल्लाह, फातिमा ज़हरा खुद अपने बेटे मोहसिन को क्यों नहीं लाएंगी? मौला के आंखों में आंसू आ गए, क्योंकि मेरी दादी फातिमा के हाथ में अली असगर, दादी फातिमा के हाथ में अली असगर होंगे, सिद्दीक़ खदीजा ताहिरा के हाथ में मोहसिन. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Oh Allah, accept this ibadat from us, forgive our sin, give us the closeness to Fatima Zahra and the Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, those who are ill, grant them shifa kamila from illnesses. Those who are in debt, help them fulfill their debts, Ya Allah. Grant the mu'mineen success in the dunya and in the akhirah, Ya Allah. We ask you to give maghfirah to the marhumin who have left this world. Ya Allah, when we leave this dunya, protect us from difficulties of maut and the difficulties in the qabr, Ya Allah. Protect our ulama, our maraja who are serving on the Imam's reputation. Ya Allah, bihaqqi hadha al-ayyam al-Fatimiyya, we ask you for the sake of these days of Fatimiyya to return our Mawla Imam al-Hujjah to us and make us amongst the ashab and the ansar of the Imam. Azadar Imam, 5 martaba sab milke Majibu parenge. For those who are ill, for Allah Ta'ala to give them shifa, for our hajat to be accepted, for the hifazat of Imam al-Zamana and the safety and the security of the mu'mineen in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Nigeria, in Syria, in Yemen, in Bahrain, wherever there is sab milke 5 martaba. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amma yujibul mustarra idha wa yakshifus su'. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. الفاتحة للأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء. الفاتحة especially for the marhumin of those who are in the Sharik al-Majlis. الفاتحة.